Let's get physical, it's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the first week of November 2nd until the 6th, Monday to Friday. Retail, low print and imports, plus our community spotlight where you shop your pickups and potentially win a physical Switch game. Now this week has been proper mental for me in terms of content, so we're going to have a slightly abridged episode this week, but I'll talk more about that later when we get to the community spotlight. But anyways, let's take a look. Firstly, I think I should address an error in last week's episode. I told everyone Shin Megami Tensei 3 would not get a physical release in the West. However, so many people left a comment and said that the West was getting one, so sorry about that. I will try to do better. I honestly did not see anything regarding a Western release on that. Pokemon Sword and Shield with expansion pass is probably the biggest release this week, maybe. It's basically a re-release of Sword and Shield from last year with the expansion pass included for the respective game. Remember, Sword and Shield had different DLCs, which I find incredibly weird, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, the DLC is on the cartridge rather than a code, and I'm guessing the game needs far less updates than the original physical release. What are your thoughts on this one? Are you ready for some DLC? Also, which one did you choose originally, Sword or Shield? Stardew Valley is launching physically this week on the Nintendo Switch in the West on the 5th of November. Finally, Japan has long had a physical version which is almost mythical, even with some crazy prices, but now we have something, far more affordable. I just have to wonder what took them so damn long. Available at retail, there's also a collector's edition at fangamer.com. What's there to say about this? It's a legendary indie game right up there with the all-time classics and mostly made by one dude, and that's impressive. It's the best Harvest Moon game ever made. And this is God of Resin's and Dane Wilkinson's pick of the week. Bakugan Champions of Vestoria. Now, this may not have had the best introduction to life. Its announcement was during a Nintendo Treehouse event, and people had very high expectations. So when a really old franchise gets a revival by an indie developer, it just seemed kind of odd. I guess someone at Nintendo of America was a big fan of the franchise, and thought everyone else was too. This is an action role-playing game. I guess it has some Pokemon vibes going on. I don't know. I was never familiar with the property. Let me know your thoughts. Any fans out there? Tropico VI is releasing this week. If you fancy yourself a bit of a dictator but don't have the time or means to do it in real life, then Tropico VI may be the city building management game for you. Admittedly, when it was shown off in the direct, it looked a little bit rough around the edges, but at least they weren't BSing us. They're not hiding the fact that it doesn't look the best. City Skylines pretty much looks the same, but plays well on the go. Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. This is probably one for the kids. A licensed tie-in of the popular show. My daughter kinda likes it. You have to be careful though. Outright games on the box. Sometimes they do competent stuff, but still, watch some Switch gameplay before making a purchase. Not all of their stuff runs acceptably. Descenders is a bit of an uncertainty. I know it's been up in the air, but this extreme downhill biking game will hopefully give thrill seekers the adrenaline rush that they need. It's procedurally generated, different jumps, slopes, every run will be different. I'm just hoping this run wells on the Switch. Fast-paced, open-looking environments. It's a bit worrying, but let's see. This is Jonathan Rumor's pick of the week. Cloudpunk is a much maligned port of what could have been a great experience. It's clear to see that this was built with PC in mind, as even the PS4 struggles to run this well. Now think about how that translates to the little Switch. Highly advise you watch Juan's review to see for yourself. There's a standard release as well as a signature edition from their website, and Brent McLean has chosen this as his pick of the week. Brave choice. Elliot Quest. I always want to add a possessive onto that. Is that just me? It sounds like it should be Elliot's Quest. Anyways, tangents aside, this is a fairly popular game. It may look simple in its visual and gameplay style, but there's fun to be had in this adventure action platformer. As this is a Nicholas release, don't expect to see a European one. If you want it in Europe, you probably have to import it. Also, the box art is pretty nice. I'll put some links below if you're in Europe and you need to import this one. L.O.L. Surprise! Remix, We Rule the World. It is just a weird title. It makes me realize that I'm just way too old. I don't know what's going on here. And I couldn't even find a trailer because when I type in those words, I got all sorts of nonsense. So I thought I'd stick to the screenshots. I guess it's a house customization thing, maybe. It looks horrendous either way. Ancestors Legacy is finally releasing in Europe this week. It's been out in Asia for about a decade now. North America followed shortly afterwards, and now this strategy game is releasing on European shores. I already showed off my version in my personal spotlight, and I'll be interested to see who is picking this up in Europe. Café Enchante continues Axis's Games trend of releasing every Otome visual novel on the Switch. As I quickly found out from a rather flippant comment I made for another release, these type of games certainly do have their audiences, so it's good to see these making it westwards instead of staying in Japan. Alright, let's jump into the low prints. I'm never sure if to include these in low prints or imports because it's kind of both. PlayAsia's latest limited exclusive is the excellent ScourgeBringer. This released not too long ago and provides a high level of action and platforming, smooth, twitchy platforming like Celeste mixed with the flow and combat of Dead Cells. This one has me pretty hyped up. The standard edition is open pre-order while there's a limited collector's edition. At the time of writing this in preparation for the episode, I'm not entirely sure how many it's limited to, but it's usually 2,000. So you don't want to miss this one out as PlayAsia. They're one of my favorites. Small, simple, but usually pack everything I need. Now, if you want to order this, the standard edition or limited edition, then down below in the description and pinned comment there are import links. As it goes out for pre-order on Thursday, 11 p.m. Hong Kong time. If you plan on buying it, then we would greatly appreciate you coming back then, clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment, and then purchasing it. Of course, if you plan on buying it, as it really does help support us massively. So yeah, if you come back on that day, click the link and buy it. That would be amazing. I'm definitely getting it. I'm not BSing you. I'm buying this. And as a bonus for you guys, as always, from PlayAsia, you can get 5% off anything physically, when you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV while checking out. They do kind of like to hide that option, but yeah, you can get a nice 5% off with that code. So thank you ever so much for your support. Thursday, 11 p.m. Hong Kong time, which I think is like 11 a.m. New York time, something like that. Anyways, Monster Prom XXL was the announcement from Super Rare Games last week that I couldn't tell you about. This is a competitive dating sim, and if you saw last week's video, you'll know my opinion. I just didn't get it, and I still don't get it, to be honest. It's not something that appeals to me, but having seen the positive reaction from the announcement over in our Discord, in the comments, and on Twitter, it seems like the game, does have its fans. In total, there are 7,000 copies available, spread out over a few editions, including a massive collector's edition, which looks to be their biggest and best yet. And actually, I think at the time of recording this, it's almost sold out, so maybe by the time this video goes out, maybe everything will be sold out. I don't know. If you're on the fence, you may want to pick this up as soon as possible. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments. What do you think of Monster Prom XXL? Am I the only one who's like, I just don't get it? Or are you excited by it? Please let me know. And Gannicus did let me know, as it's his pick of the week. Limited Run had a killer week of announcements pretty much straight after last week's video, as always. First up, Corpse Killer, a legendary FMV game that the only thing I know about it is from that episode of Angry Video Game Nerd, where he wanted to talk about it, but, the game wouldn't work. Anyways, after getting Night Trap for, curiosity's sake, I think I'm good without old-ass FMV games. As interesting as they may be from a preservation perspective. I'd only like this on my shelf, but, not at this price. There's a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a booklet, script, poster, 2 CD soundtrack. You can pre-order this now. Holy Potatoes Compendium is getting a distribution release from Limited Run in North America. This triple pack of management games includes a lot of humor, plenty of content for the price. This released in Europe as a normal retail title. There's a standard release as well as a badge edition, which you can probably guess what that includes. Cthulhu! Love that word. Cthulhu Saves Christmas is going up for pre-order this week. Not sure if it's a bit late for Halloween or, a bit early for Christmas, but as Captain Slow stated in the Discord, maybe you'll get it in time for Easter. This is a short RPG parody, packing 4 or 5 hours of well-regarded humor and pretty decent gameplay. It's an older game from the dudes who gave us Cosmic Star Heroine, which is a very good sign. Co-op Quartet Fighters is a B-Side Games' latest release. These are the people who put out the beautiful packaging of Golf Story and Kamiko in Japan. This one is an arcade shooter with 4-player co-op in mind, although I think there's 2 games in here actually. They look really old school, but fun, Sadly, this release does not have English, but, it's an arcade shooter, so it may not be that important. I don't know. Maybe one to consider at bsidegames.com, 3,000 units available. Alright, let's jump into the imports this week. Just remember that if any take your fancy and you'd like to import them for yourself, then there are import links below, as stated when I talked about ScourgeBringer from PlayAsia. In the pinned comment and description, there are links below and the coupon code where you can help support us absolutely massively. First up, we've got an absolute winner, Alpaca Ball. All Stars is releasing in Asia and Japan this week. This is a daft-looking arcade comedy sports game where these livable South American mammals don their football boots and take to the pitch. Is it good? I don't know, but some people have told me that it may actually be, better than it sounds. Now, this release does have English, which is great news for those who want to get their hands on a physical copy early. However, if you can wait, then this is definitely getting a physical release in Europe from Badland Games next year. I think they said like March next year, and maybe North America, but I don't think that's definitely confirmed right now. It's up to you. Silly sports action game with llamas. Just what the world needs right now. I think I might pick this one up. I don't know, call me crazy. Alpaca Ball, you've sold me. I've got Fight Crab. I need Alpaca Ball too, right? Alright, Maryskelter Finale is out in Japan this week. Sadly, there's no English on this release, but following a trend, I wouldn't be surprised if this came to the West physically in some capacity. Hopefully it does, as it looks like a nice dungeon-crawling RPG. Shadowverse Champions Battle is releasing in Japan this week, based upon the collectible card game. Sadly, there's no English. Real-time Battle Shogi Online plus GINSEI Shogi something is a double pack of Shogi games. English, very unlikely. OUCHI I'm tired, guys. I'm just tired. It's a thing. It's one of those cute, weird games that most of us secretly wish had English, but sadly, it does not. All right, let's jump into the Let's Get Physical Community Spotlight, where you show off your pickups. If you're featured, then at the end of this month, end of November, you could be in with a chance to win a physical Switch game. I have not decided which game yet. I'll maybe tell you next week. Personally, me. This week, I'm showing off another Red Art Games release. It's a pretty good one, Neurovoider. Why this one? Well, because Neurovoider is also by the same people, as PlayAsia's latest exclusive ScourgeBringer. It's one of their older titles. This is a fantastic twin-stick shooting RPG. It was one of the very early hidden gems on the Switch. Juan reviewed this one before I even joined the channel. In fact, Juan liked it so much that when we kind of brainstormed our dreams of, if we ever made a physical Switch game, he wanted to choose this one. Little did he know that Red Art Games already did it. So if that's not a high enough of a recommendation, I don't know what is. As with most Red Art Games releases, this comes with a cover sleeve. That's always nice, and there's a unique cover art from the actual box. Not all of them do, but this one does. You can purchase this from redartgames.com. It's limited to 2,800 units. And like with anything on their website, you can get a very healthy 10% off if you use a coupon SWATCH10. Remember that code SWATCH10 is different from our PlayAsia code. SWATCH10, and you get 10% off. We don't earn anything from that, not at all, not a dime, not a penny. It's just a little bonus that we organize for you guys, because we love you. All right, onto you lot. Now, I just want to say that I have been so busy this week. I had 3 reviews, plus last week's physical episode. It was just way too much to take on, so sadly, this episode, I had to make a little bit of a sacrifice for my own sanity and well-being. This week's going to be quite a bit shorter. Of those who sent in photos for this week, I'm going to pick 10 at random, just 10 at random to talk about. And those who didn't make it in, I will be saving your photos for next week. So don't worry, please don't worry. If there's something else you want to send in, please save it until after next week, okay? Because I've still got your photo that I want to show off for next week, all right? So 10 people, let's have a look. Art Phoenix Assorted sent in this photo showing off a variety of cover arts available for the recent Streets of Rage 4. Limited run, merge games, the Asian release. Who knew there were so many options? And I don't even think that this is all of them, which is crazy to think. I think the Japanese one might have a different cover as well. I'm not sure about that though. Blackstar sent in these photos, firstly of Ikaruga from Nicholas, which is a classic shooter. Juan got this one in for unboxing, so check out that video in case you want to see inside. Plus, Blackstar sent in these 2 games, Crosscode, which I still need to get my hands on. It's pretty cheap in the UK right now. I'm very jealous about that. And an import exclusive Headliner Novi News. I have this one myself, and it's an interesting title where you run a news station and you have to make moral decisions. This Japanese release does have English. If you want to import, links are below. Boombox sent in a fine photo including some very interesting releases. Tales of the Tiny Planet, which the winner of last month's prize actually chose. I wasn't expecting that one. It'll Due from One Print, the Japanese exclusive, and Big Buck Hunter. You do not see that one often at all. Brent McLean finally got their editions of Vitamin Connection from Limited Run and Way Forward, one of their most recent games. It's a good game, better in co-op, but the wait for this has been almost a year, which is crazy to think. Still, the package looks really nice. Chuck's Taylor's getting some fine releases and some brand new ones too, including Mad Rat Dead. I swear rat should be the last word in that title, but I don't know. NS America's latest game, a rhythm platformer, plus Cobra Kai, which, I wasn't sure about if it would release or not, but looks like it did. Nice to see, even if the game doesn't look all that good. Elliot Smith showed off these games, including one I think many people may have forgotten about, the excellent Thumper from Limited Run, the collector's edition, one of their very first. This is one of those cases where they probably didn't think it entirely through. As you can see, the Switch logo cover ups the T, which makes it say Humper instead of Thumper. That's hilarious. Park Ranger showed off a very forgotten shmup, finally releasing from Strictly Limited Games. Sisters Royale, perhaps not the best shooter available on the Switch, but the more the merrier, well, aside from Waifu Uncovered. Anyways, I really like the box art on this one. It looks so much better in the flesh, really stands out amongst the crowd. Samuel Robinson was very passionate about showing off the collector's edition of Dandara from Super Rare Games, celebrating the fact that a black woman is a protagonist in this one. It was very important for him, and I think Super Rare did that justice with this great collector's edition. They did some great cards, proper art book, soundtrack, and a nice map. It is a beautiful package. Streaming on the corner sent in this picture, Nice It'll Do, and Kero Blaster from One Print Games. You can even get the latter on Play Asia still, I believe. Plus a game that I'm very jealous about, the collector's edition of Reverie. I missed out on this one from Play Asia, and I do need it for my collection. I'm just worried about the price I may have to pay. And finally for this week, I've got an entry from The One, who showed off these games. Many thanks for using our links and code to purchase some of these. Really helps us out so much. A nice Asian release of Hardcore Mecha there at the top, and the standard edition of Moro Crystal H, which I think they still have some in stock. Great dungeon crawler with very nice artwork for, cultured people. And nice to see Pikmin 3 in here too. Don't worry, we're going to be seeing that a lot next week. A lot of you sent in pictures of Pikmin 3. And that's it. If I didn't show yours off this week, don't worry, I will show it off next week. So please hold off on submitting anything, for the time being. If you didn't send one in already, then you can send it to me on Twitter over at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me, or you can tag me and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical. I'll give you a nice little retweet. Or you can email it into us at contactus@switchwatch.co.uk. Just make sure you start the email title with Community Spotlight so I don't miss it. Plus, we have a Discord, which is always a nice way to, have a little chat with you guys. And you can submit your photo there in the submission section. Links are below for the Discord. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physicals. I'm sorry it's a bit shorter than usual, but I don't have a lot of time and my brain is kind of fried right now, so I need to have a little rest, We'll be back to full speed next week. Special thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Jonathan Room, Organicus, and a brand new one, Santa Tartaruga. Thank you for joining our legends, plus our other YouTube members. Thank you for your support. And you, yes, you watching right now, if you watched all the way through this, you're crazy, and I love you because the longer you watch, the more it helps us out. YouTube pushes videos that people watch for a longer time. So yeah, here are some other videos you may want to watch. I reviewed 3 games last week. Maybe choose one. Help a guy out. See you guys later. Take care.